Hello, good evening, and welcome to day 4 of our 7 day series on how to get jobs in Web3 and also in AI, how to position your skills. And for this series, we've had day 1 and we've had day 2. So today, we're going to be looking at something very important, and that thing is positioning on LinkedIn, positioning yourself for online opportunities. So, just for a quick recap, right? If you were in day 1, day 2, day 3, drop a comment in the comment section and let me know the things you learned and how you've applied what I've been teaching you. So, remember what I said about the importance of application, because everything, if you're not applying everything I've been sharing, it's not going to yield results. You're definitely going to see results when you apply them. And then, if you now have a challenge, we now know exactly where to step in and help you, right? So, today we're going to look at something also very specific: ATS. ATS is, sometimes when you apply for a job and you submit your resume online, there's a possibility that 70% of the times, or if not more than, your resume is reviewed by AI and not a human being. So if your resume or your CV is not formatted, is not following the ATS guideline, then you're already missing out. That effort you just put is just wasted. So that's another thing we're going to look at. What are those things? How do you format for ATS? I have templates. I've helped a couple of people in my community to format their resume, CV. Help them to format it. I gave them a template and also assisted them on what to do. So one thing you need definitely in this day and time is you definitely need a LinkedIn account. You need a LinkedIn account, right? You also need an X account. And everybody, I know that they used to throw shit. They throw shit at LinkedIn people about the way they talk about themselves, position themselves, all of that. But we all know that those things work regardless, right? So what's the number one thing you need to prioritize in 2026? That is visibility. It's no longer, because of the way attention is these days, visibility is no longer an option. Being You can't negotiate the visibility anymore. And LinkedIn is one place that you need to be visible as a career person. I've talked about this thing over and over again. I even talked about how it has helped me over and over again. So LinkedIn is a place that, so I don't know. One of the assignments I gave in the past few days is to create content about what you've been learning so far and tag me to it. If you've done that, please let me know if you've done that so I can engage. I will see it in my notification so I can engage with it, right? So, um, LinkedIn still remains the primary place for your professional validation in 2026. So, I want to believe that you can hear me. So, it's like your high conversion sales page. It's like a place to market yourself, to put yourself out there, and to even meet people that can pay you more, right? So, of course, if you're dealing with CEOs, CMOs, C level executives, and all of that, LinkedIn is the place. So, the way you write your headline is very important. The way you write your headline, like that title part of your LinkedIn handle, is super duper important. So there's what we call the triad rule of writing LinkedIn, your LinkedIn headline. Like after you've seen your name, that place where you write what you do. So how you go about it is you use the first line in that bio to hook the reader. Or let's say you mention what you do. Let's say you say you are a Web3 writer, right? Or Web3 product marketer, or Web3 business manager, right? And then you now talk about what you've achieved or what you can do. You help this, onboard this, a business result, that you do, and they now add, the extra skill or the extra tool you work with. So don't just write your writer there, just a writer there. You're a writer that does. What is one business result that your skill can achieve for a business person, for anyone, for a founder, for a CEO, for anybody? Um, so now when it comes to your summary part, where you write your about session, the first three lines must hook the reader. And this is where you mention your advantage. What's that one thing that makes you stand out? You know, like for example, now, let's say now you're transitioning into from a traditional workspace into Web3. The experience you had in your traditional workspace is not is not wasted. So you can show your asymmetric advantage where you point out that you working at a bank, working at a store, help makes you a better manager or makes you a better operation person, makes you a better this because you have had to manage a team of this, you've had to do this, do this, do that, right? The two industry might not be the same, might not align, but the experiences that you got from a traditional workplace that you can leverage in the Web3 space or in the AI space. So whatever experience that you have or you've had in the past is not wasted. Always mention it. Make reference to it that that's what makes you a better person now, a better person to deliver that skill in this new industry. I don't know if you're following me, just give me a thumbs up or a like. So now, when it comes to Web3, the X space, Twitter is like your Twitter and communities, specific focus communities. It's like your key place. It's like your online portfolio. If you're not on X and you're a Web3 person, I wonder what you're doing really, because X is the place where you talk about. So if you're not, I don't know how to hammer this thing over and over again. Unless you are a Nepo child. When I say a Nepo, unless you're a Nepo child that you have a network, you already have like a network that came from your father, your mother, and you have an uncle that can introduce you somewhere. You have to be the one to sing the song of what you can do over and over again till people get tired of hearing you and you don't even stop and continue. Do you get? Unless you are doing behind the scenes introduction of yourself, unless you're in groups building networks, you have to be online talking about what you do. So now, for your resume should be ATS friendly. ATS friendly. Your resume must be ATS friendly. You must optimize your resume to be ATS friendly, right? And what is ATS? ATS is applicant tracking system. These are systems that, because sometimes when companies put out job roles and they're looking out for, they might not be they want to be able to sieve out. Let's say they've received 100 people. It's hard work to go through the whole 100, right? So they use the ATS. They use the ATS, the applicant tracking system, to sieve out those that doesn't align, and then so they can focus on the one that they cannot invite for the interview. So you need to cross ATS. The ATS system is the ATS, like the applicant tracking system, is the first barrier to you getting a job, especially if you're dealing with the job websites, because you have to place if that's one of your most major ways of getting a job, right? You have to make sure that your resume is 8 years optimized. So that now the 2026, to make sure that your resume is following the 2026 rules, 8 years rules. Your resume. Okay, let me see if I'm going to get one so I can show you. Your resume must be single column. All those templates you see on Canva, you see, this is sorry to Canva team, but all those templates you see that have like your picture up there, that have like different columns and all of that. doesn't work. It does not work at all. It doesn't. So you have to. I'm going to open up. So I want to open a sample to show you what I mean. So it must be single column, no pictures, no graphics, and simple fonts. So your fonts might also be working against you in your resume. For example, if you're someone that loves Times New Romance, like me that like Times New Romance, right? Um, your excuse me, your resume, your font might be working against you. So you use simple fonts like Calibri, like Arial. These two fonts are ATS friendly. So you use them, and no graphics, no tables, because ATS can read tables. It might look like jargon to it. So now use the bullet formula and the action verb. So I'm going to show you a template, some sort of templates that you can use. I'm going to share my screen right now. So this is a template, right? This is a template. So your name, your address, email, LinkedIn profile, your X handle, your portfolio link at the top. And then this here should be like your professional summary. So now this is supposed to be these skills now. I'm going to move it around. Sorry. This should be here before your experience. So now your professional summary. So you use what, and then you list your strengths. You list your strengths here, your skills, your activities that you do, and all of that. Make sure it's measurable or use results. Like, for example, now you um you built this to handle. Let's say for a writer. Now, let's say let me use a writer for example, and you want to increase searchability for your product. You're able to optimize the website to increase its visibility on search, or you were able to build like a geo system that the product is not searchable among AI products, just like that. And then you now mentioned that, and it's increased searchability by 30%, 60%. This shows you that even what you're doing while you are doing your work, you're tracking your work so that you're able to say that this was able to do this by so and so percentage. Do you follow? So now this is resume now. So see how it's outlined. Just a single page, maximum two. Don't do all of those boxes thing. No, just use this. See now, this is in Calibri. This is written in Calibri, either Calibri or you're using Arial or Calibri as your font. So after your skills or your competencies, the things that you can do, you now go to your experience. Two is fine because this is a resume. Your resume is showing your two to three most relevant experiences that you've had relevant to that job that you're about to apply. So you don't have to list all your experiences. No, you're listing the top relevant experiences to the job you're applying for. So you see, describe your responsibility and achievements regarding impact and results. Use the examples but keep it short. Maximum three bullet points. Use it to talk about what you did, what was the problem, or mostly what you did and the results that you know if it yielded. So you're saying you did this and it resulted to this. I created this. I launched this campaign, and it led to 60% increase in app download. Stuff like that. So then after that, it then be followed by your education. So I want to come back to this later. I'm just going to touch about a few more things and when we continue. So if you can still hear me, just indicate if you can still hear me. All right. If you can still hear me, just let me know. Do a thumbs up. Do a thumbs up and or a comment. All right. Okay. So moving on. So now let's look at the next thing we're going to look at is oh okay great right awesome awesome. So the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to go a little bit deeper into this ATS thing, your resume, right? I know. Thank God Godwin is on this live session. Um, sorry, I'm using you a lot as an example because you're one of my most active people. Okay, so let's say Godwin now needs to like put together a resume for a role. You can't have a one resume for all things, right? You can create multiple resumes for multiple roles you want to apply for. For example, you want to do customer service, you want to do product management, you want to do, there should be a resume for each of them. And you will structure your experiences, the things you've done, the tools you've used, the results you've had to align to those products. Because there's no point trying to apply to a product management role and your experience is showing that it's showing customer management. So now, can you use customer management experience to apply for a product management role? It depends on the things that you did as a customer manager. So you can now structure it to communicate, to use the words, terms, or most importantly, you copy. You know that's why I like this age of AI, and this, you can just simply copy, use your resume, and copy the job expectation, and tell ChatGPT to structure your resume to reflect the job expectation, the job listing expectation. So it makes it easy because you're not supposed to use the same resume to apply over and over again for different jobs that are not related to each other. All right. So you can only use one resume to apply to the same job in different places, as long as what you have in that resume aligns with those places that you're applying to. So now, the 2026 rule, because I'm continuing on this resume thing. 2026 rule for resume is what? Single column. I already showed you here. Single column, just straight down. There's no picture on one side or whatever. Align. Don't number your, how will I put it now? This first name, last name now. You see this one now. If it's me, self, everything will be in one line because you're even trying to maximize space. Remember, your resume should not exceed 2 pages. 2 pages because let's say okay, it passes 1 page. It shouldn't exceed 2 pages. So in one line, you should carry your email. Now, if you notice now, this is 11 size font, right? 11 size font. So email, your LinkedIn, your portfolio on the same line. Don't do it because you are maximizing space. And you want your resume to be scannable, to be scanned, like because when someone looks at it, they can easily see what's on it without wasting time. So avoid text tables, text boxes, sidebars, headers, footers, all those things should not be there. Avoid pictures and all of that. Always make sure that you submit your resume as a PDF or a document. In fact, some people are recommending document that docx format. Um, Never send your resume as a picture, as a JPEG. If not, AI cannot read what is inside a picture. So you send it as a PDF or docx, not docx document. So use fonts that are safe. Don't use Times New Romance or all those designed fonts. Use Arial, Calibri, Garamond, Georgia. those very simple fonts that AI can read, web safe fonts, then use between 10 to 12. Like I showed you now, this one now is using 11, between 10 and 12 size fonts to this, and they use 14 to 16 for the headers, like just like this one now. This one is big, it's too big. So it's definitely too big. This should be like 16. So this the person used Georgia, or this template is using Georgia. So let's see, um, this is 18, right? So Georgia, Calibri, and all of that. So your, like I just mentioned, your resume must mirror the job description. Make sure that what's in your resume is communicating what's in job description, because instantly, if what they are looking for is not what's on your resume, nobody's going to give you. Like I said, AI will first of all screen the applications first before human being will even come and take a look at the remaining ones that is, that have been screened. So when you want to put an acronym in your resume, always write out the full name, the full acronym. For example, now real world assets. Always write RW is real world assets. Always write out real world asset. You cannot put RW in brackets or vice versa. Use normal standard headings. For example, like professional summary. Like here should be professional summary. Here, like I said, skills and experience, work experience, education. Don't go and start using things like my creative journey, my this, my that. Because, like I said, if you're applying via a website, your AI is the first thing that's going to see what you're submitting. So now, when it comes to your write ups now, like these places now, your job experience, you are listing its outcome. For example, reduce contract turnaround time by 75% for 85 protocol by implementing an AI driven. You are mentioning you reduced the problem to so and so percentage by implementing this. So look at your resume again, right? That is why it's good to document whatever you are doing. Always document your work. Whenever you have a success, whenever you hit a roadblock and you overcome it, document the process. I did this, and this is how I solved it. This is what I used to solve it, and this is the results we have got. So that when you're writing your resume, you are able to accurately say this is how your skill was able to get a business result for the company. Um, so yes, remember on day one, I was trying to remember the three business results that every business look out for is to make money, to save time, and to save costs. Is that you're helping them save money, or you're helping them make more money, or you're helping them save time? Those are the three things I'm trying to remember. So, um, as an admin, you can say, okay, you were able to orchestrate, you're able to build a system that helped to reduce response lag, or you're able to set up something that helps to reduce a response lag. This is like for me, like customer service people. So all I'm saying is your points, your three bullet points on your experience must be outcome driven, results based. So look at your resume. So this is today's task, right? I'm still waiting for those people that have not done their task so far. Remember, if you don't take actions, the chances of you seeing a result is absolutely zero. So now look at your resume. Out of everything I've said, what corrections can you make today to your resume? What adjustments can you make today on your resume? And if you need my help, you can send a resume to my DM. My number is in the description of this video. So um how do you now know the job to apply for in 2026? The first thing is, I've always said, you don't start from zero. You start from your skills. Thank God, I have people here who did stuff like from the beginning of this class, taking some actions from things I shared from day one. So you outline your edge. What are your edge? What are those things that come to you easily, or the results you've gotten from the traditional role you're coming from? Remember, This thing works across AI careers, Web3 careers, tech careers. This rule applies across board. So there are things that you did in your previous jobs that are relevant, that can transfer to those jobs. You list them, right? List all of them. These are your asymmetric edge. Because if you can do those things, it means that you can even thrive in this your new workspace. So now, three questions you can ask yourself. What do you already do well? What friction is the tech industry currently facing? And where do this overlap? We've already talked about this before. I think I talked about this in day two. In day two. I'm just recapping, right? Now, the next thing is for you to be able to bridge that gap. You already have your list of what you can do well. You now find out what's the challenges that industry is currently facing. So this is another assignment for you to do. If you've already found out what your skills are, for someone like Godwin now, Godwin has already figured out the thing he's very good at and the thing that AI can replace. So you cannot find out what are the gaps right now in the industry. What are those gaps right now in the tech industry, in the AI industry, in the Web3 industry, and then find out where those skills you are bringing from where you're coming from, where do they overlap with the challenges? Like, how can you solve the current challenges in the industry with those skills? So, the plan now is to go for jobs that you can easily get, or I think I have a few websites I'm going to share with us. But you need to figure these things out first. For someone like you, Godwin, now, you figured out your strengths, you figured out what AI can replace, right? Now it's trying to figure out what are the gaps in the tech, AI, and Web3 industry. And those gaps, which gaps does your skill fill? Your existing skills, which gap do they fill? So that is where we're going to take it from there. So after you've done that, we'll now look out for micro contributions because you have to build a proof of work, right? Start looking for we're going to do in next 30 days, we're going to do this together. So you start looking for projects that don't have these gaps. I mean, the gaps are obvious, and you start writing out of figuring out how you can fix it with your skills. Those gaps they have, how you can fix it with your skills. So I need people to start writing. Please start creating content on X and LinkedIn. Anyway, so you pick a project, and from the angle of your skill, you start writing about how you can what you can do differently that can bring them results. This is the kind of content you put out on LinkedIn and on X. So um for someone inside like is in marketing now like B, I can do like a go to market playbook. Create a go to market playbook for a project. And when I create it, I can pick a project, create it, and talk about this. Okay, so like you don't pick a project like okay, for a project like this now, this is the playbook that you would have used to launch it. Or you can compare playbooks, two different projects, and say these two projects are in the same category, but this is how they launched, and this is how what they could have done differently. Stuff like that. The ideas are plenty about a way that you can show how you think without getting a job. Because when people say, how do I show like my experience, my work experience? It's very easy. You can build a portfolio, you can practice on projects, you can do show what you would have done differently for this project. So now today's class is very simple and very straightforward. I talked about your LinkedIn, very important. I talked about your LinkedIn. Uh, I talked about your LinkedIn and how you must optimize. You must optimize your LinkedIn. And I mentioned the triad rule, your role plus the business results you get for this for with that role. For example, customer service. I help I help lean teams to maintain customer relationships by 95%. Remember, even ChatGPT can also help you with this thing. You can take a screenshot of your LinkedIn today and give it ChatGPT and tell it to find out what are the flaws and gaps and how you can fill it. Secondly, we talked about the resume. What are the important things about your resume? How to make it ATS friendly, because ATS is the first thing your resume will encounter online. If you're applying through job boards, the job websites, ATS is the first thing they will encounter before a human being even comes in contact with your resume. So that means you must optimize your resume for the applicant tracking system. So if you have a question for me, you can ask me that question and I will take your response. I'll give you a response to the question. Any question? And last I talked about is your experience, like building your experience, building your relevant experience, which is also very, very easy. Finding out what can you do, or what are those skills you brought from your previous jobs? What are the gaps in the industry now? And where does this two overlap? And when you find out where they overlap, you then begin to show that on your platforms. Like I said before, unless you're an Apple child, you have an uncle, you have someone that can introduce you to a role. Please take action with this thing I just said. And I'm going to share. Okay, who has question? If you have question, you can drop it though. If you have a question, you can drop it. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. All right. Okay. In absence of no question, we can call it a day. Our next session will be on Monday, day 5. So go through these videos and do all the pending assignments. Go through your resume and see if it falls within the thing I shared with you. You can give it to me to look at it again, so that you're not working against, because there's something about being like self-sabotaging. If you're not taking action, you are sabotaging yourself. It's as simple as that. Like there's no other way around it. Like life has become easier with AI, but it's also become hard at the same time, because it means that the expectation is different. Remember the early days of Facebook and Facebook. That is what we are in right now. If you experience, I think early days of Facebook. Well, where was I, said? I just finished secondary school. I was about to enter uni. That was the early days of Web2, right? That is what we are in right now. The early days of Web3, the early days of AI. So that those times, they were usually like very delicate times, and people had to be very intentional with their execution. So please, please, take actions. Review your resume based on what I said and share with you. If you want me to review it again for you, send it across. See you on Monday. I think Monday. What are we doing on Monday? I'll share with you guys on Monday. All right. So if you have any questions when you are watching this video, drop it in the comment section, and I will do a video to reply you, or reply you reply you via comments as well. All right. Thank you for joining my short session. I have a live session by 7. I'll be talking to NGOs about how to use AI to build websites, to create content, and all of those things. So you want to join that session. The link to join is on my status. You can join the link on my status. So I'll be teaching practically. I'm showing them practically how to build landing pages, how to create content, how to create things like slides. It's an NGO, so it's an NGO, Reach Nigeria. So it's like a community of NGO people, different NGO communities. So they'll be learning how to do this because this is the age we are in, and these tools are here to help you and not take your job away from you. All right, so um, see you in that session if you're joining, or see you on Monday. So over the weekend, if you have a question for me, please drop it in my DM and I will attend to it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.